This is the Daily Dystopia News Network. Reality reported before it collapses.
Some people cheer the chaos. Others rub their temples, wondering when reality filed for a restraining order against itself. Tonight, governments are captured, monkeys commit crimes, AI writes fan fiction, and somehow, this is all still considered normal. Welcome back.
It started as a midnight knock in a quiet Caracas neighborhood. Minutes later, the United States had what it came for. Venezuela's self-styled head of state, now in flex cuffs in U.S. custody. The mission played out like a parcel pickup, scanned, signed, and on its way. You can even track it.
Tonight, a retired despot is taking an unscheduled flight, courtesy of a very motivated return department. Behind me, U.S. Special Operations are shipping the former strongman of Corvovia to a war crimes courtroom, boxed, barcoded, and insured for next day arrival. Turns out, sovereignty now.
Of Venezuela, lend me your ears and maybe your applause. Your pal Jubilee Jester has stepped up to the big top, and guess what? I'm running this whole beautiful country now.
That's right, I run Venezuela. I'm the big cheese, the head honcho, the main clown in the parade. Write it down.
Colombia has just declared a state of emergency along this border. The reason? Across that fence, their neighbor was, quote, liberated last night, and the aftershocks are rolling this way. Officials here say streams of people are already moving west, and with them could come instability, shortages, and even armed groups. When your neighbor...
Here in Brussels, Europe's defense ministers are sketching out how to shield the continent from new threats in the north. While they debate missiles and patrol routes, across the Atlantic, a different conversation is heating up. Namely, whether Greenland is less a shield and more a potential purchase. It's a snowy mashup of strategy and realism.
They booked a luxury getaway. What they got was geopolitics and a lot of sand. I'm deserted Dana at a resort straddling the Saudi-UAE border where more than 100 holidaymakers have been stuck for 2 days.
We were supposed to fly home yesterday. Then flights vanished from the board.
Ever wonder what happens to all that carrot pulp left behind at juice bars? We dry it, mill it, and boom! It's a complete plant protein. 19 grams a scoop, 0 carrots wasted. You can shake it, bake it, even press it into a burger. Same sweet, earthy flavor, but now it fuels you instead of the...
Loose change Chuck, here in the middle of a bidding war that just turned pocket change into a fortune. Behind me, a mountain of copper history, 272,000 unspent pennies, and tonight, they hammered down for $16.76 million. Why so much? Nostalgia, rarity, and a little inflation hedge all rolled into one shiny disc this night.
Every aisle here is a promise, right? Coffee in the air, laundry that folds itself, a couch that drives you home. Convenience is the headline. But ask any one of these bots about limits, about when they'll stop helping, and you get a blink, a beep, maybe a snack delivery. Every robot...
Out on a half-frozen pond in January, this old dairy cow found herself in a pickle. The ice was too thin to hold her, too thick for her to break through, and the water was colder than a taxman's heart. Fire crews in bright orange suits belly crawled across the slick, cracked surface, roped her to a sled, and inched her back to shore.
Surf, turf, and felony airspace violations. Good afternoon, I'm Contraband Carl. Behind me, a quadcopter just cruised over the razor wire carrying what looks like a 5-star T-bone dinner. The plan? Drop it straight onto an inmate's table before the guards could blink. But watch this, snagged midair, stake seat.
When the person holding the gavel is found guilty themselves, the fallout isn't just moral, it's administrative. This week, Judge Martin Baird pled guilty to a felony obstruction charge. Moments later, he filed his own resignation from the very bench he once presided over. Now the courts face a stack of recusal forms, reassignments.
Betelgeuse, the red shoulder of Orion, got mysteriously dim a few years back. Turns out, even the stars get tired. A dusty outburst from the star plus a mega starquake cooled one side and blocked our view, making this supergiant fade to almost half its usual glow. Why do we care? These changes teach us how massive stars...
From the marble palace of his homeland to these stone steps in lower Manhattan, the man once called El Comandante Supremo is now a criminal defendant. Minutes ago, U.S. Marshals delivered him under extradition, a first for the Federal Human Rights Unit, shackled.
They adapted faster than we reduced emissions. By nudging a single gene, polar bears in the high Arctic are rewriting their own DNA, thickening fur, trapping more heat, surviving longer hunts on a thinning ice sheet. Evolution in real time is happening right here.
Check this out. 3 toes, sharp claws, weight pressing the sandstone like it was wet clay. A dinosaur walked here, no question, but right alongside it, barefoot tracks, human-looking, heel arched toes. They dip right into the dino print like someone was pacing the beast. Were they here at the same time?
From Berlin-Brandenburg, the runways look more like ski trails tonight. This storm has already stranded thousands across Central Europe, and the cancellations keep stacking up. Airports from Paris to Prague are calling in extra crews, but the snow is falling faster than they can clear it.
In Tehran tonight, bread has become a banner. Citizens fill the streets demanding food, work, and relief from soaring prices. They say hunger, not politics, is what drives them. Washington's reply, another warning. U.S. officials tell Tehran new sanctions are on the table if pressure in place of...
Tonight, the man accused of leaking millions of Desjardins members' details is back on Canadian soil. Spanish police arrested him in Valencia last month. This morning, he was extradited, escorted onto a federal jet bound for Montreal. Authorities say the breach exposed more than 4 million accounts. Even with the suspect.
Tonight, an officer's body cam captures something no manual prepares you for. Watch the grainy clip. He responds to a disturbance in an alleyway. Flashlight out, everything ordinary. Then, this. His hands blur, the camera shakes, and a surge of static rips across the feed. When the picture clears, no officer, just a jacket.
Europe spent the week hammering out defense strategy. In Washington, the chatter was all about buying a massive chunk of ice. European ministers met in Brussels weighing Arctic security, Russian maneuvers, and climate threats. Meanwhile, sources say U.S. officials floated a jaw-dropping $1.7 trillion idea.
Tonight, a streaming swindle meets its finale. Maxwell Brenner, the self-styled producer who convinced Netflix to bankroll a non-existent series, has been convicted of fraud and wire fraud. Prosecutors say he collected $32 million without a single idea on paper. He showed blank decks, blank scripts, and
monkeys. These capuchins aren't just stealing snacks anymore. Phones, sunglasses, one even made off with a pacifier. Zoo officials say it's not malice, it's boredom.
When we don't rotate toys or puzzles, incidents spike.
They're clever. If we don't challenge them, they challenge us. Challenge accepted. The zoo is adding new feeders and game.
20 years. That's how long this pro is benched for fixing matches, according to the Sports Integrity Unit. A 2-decade timeout, career over, reputation toast. And yet, over on Wall Street, you can rig half an economy and still make your tea time. Justice apparently has a very selective serve. Everywhere
is an absolute sea of sunshine out here. 2,397 golden retrievers have converged on the park for the annual Golden Gathering, and I can confirm, tails are wagging, smiles are wide, and the vibes are immaculate. Organizers say this is a new record, but frankly, the only thing being broken.
Some cheer. Some shake their heads. Most of us just scroll, wondering when disbelief turned into routine. The madness continues whether we clap for it or not. Sleep if you can. Question everything. And remember, this isn't fiction. It just